All right, guys, welcome to season 3. I'm very, very happy to be in a brand new place that I've never been to. I'm joined today with Professor Leonidas Tarca, who I got to meet through the Legacy family.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to get to know you, dive into a little bit of your trajectory in Jiu Jitsu, the martial arts, and life in general. And also get to know this space, right? We're going to have a tour. And check out the class after, and we're going to get some training in.
Let's do it, man.
So, yeah.
Sounds good.
Nice. You guys, as always, if you like the content that we're putting out, please hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment. If there's something you think we should be doing or we could be doing better, that helps too. And if you're interested in sponsoring the podcast, send me a DM on Instagram and I'll reply right away. So, Professor, you have quite a bit of history in Jiu Jitsu. We're talking, and I think it's approximately 25 out of 30 years in the martial arts.
Yes, it's been a long time, man. I can tell you the story how I got into it. But
please do it, yeah.
All right. Last week, once in a while, I'll stop the class, and I want to get to know the students, right? So I believe in every student is individually different, and Jiu Jitsu is different for every single person. Your goals may be similar.
Yeah.
Some people want to get in shape. Some people want to learn self-defense.
Yeah.
Some people like the sport. Some people like UFC, right? So, but every student is individually different. Mm-hmm. So when I'm a lifelong soccer player.
Okay.
Right.
Nice.
I was born and raised to play soccer.
Yeah.
And sometimes, there's some scraps, right? Sometimes you get into heated arguments. I know that there's been a couple times where I fought fears because it is scary to get into a fight. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
If you talk to a professional boxer, fighter, UFC fighter, they all get butterflies, right?
Yeah.
The thing about learning a sport or a technique or a tool is it helps you deal with those issues, with that fear.
Right.
It starts to put you in a bucket of, I understand what are the next steps.
Okay.
Either, to me, Jiu Jitsu has always been like, how do I avoid stuff? Mm-hmm. How do I use my mind to find solutions and get away with not having to physically fight somebody?
Right.
But sometimes you don't have those options. And I feel that the normal male or female have a fear, and that fear causes some of us to lash out, to argue, to fight, sometimes flight, to fight when it's unnecessary, right? So that has happened in soccer a lot.
Okay.
One day, I got followed home, and this guy, I guess he thought his girlfriend was talking to me she was a soccer player, like I'm a soccer player, followed me home, and nothing really happened. I stood my ground, but I was scared, man. Scared of something. Somebody follows you home. What are you going to do, man?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And so the following day, dude, I signed up to a local Muay Thai gym.
Okay.
The following day.
Yeah.
And I lasted with this guy, Richard Batten from Thailand, 8 years. 8 years of learning how to defend myself. One of my friends who was in the same Muay Thai class as he was a blue belt in Jiu Jitsu. Did not even know what Jiu Jitsu was, man.
Yeah.
All I know, it's weird grappling with men.
Yeah.
That's all I knew. And he says to me, dude, you should try this Jiu Jitsu class with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, dude, man, I don't know if I want to wrestle with another guy. That's the mindset of fear. It's fear, right?
Yeah. I hear you.
He says, I promise you, you're going to enjoy it. At the time, it was a purple belt that was teaching the class. It was Nogi. So I started Nogi.
Okay. Yeah. Was this in the U.S. or?
This was in the U.S. It was here. And I started Nogi, and because I'm athletic, because I understand kind of closeness due to the Muay Thai, I wasn't scared, but I didn't have any skills, right? I end up when everybody, teaches something, then you do a little kind of drills, and then you come to the sparring part.
Right.
My partner is a 220-pound biker dude with all tattoos. Yes, I have tattoos now.
Of course.
But all tatted up, probably in his 40s. And I'm like, dude, this guy's gonna mangle me. I was weighing probably 160 at the time.
Okay, yeah.
He got tired and I choked him with the ugliest rear naked choke you've ever seen in your
There we
life.
go.
That's it. Never Muay Thai again. Never kickbox again. That was it. Jiu-jitsu for life. And so now I'm going on 23 years of doing jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
And so it showed me, one, how to control the fear.
Yeah.
Cardio is important. I tell everybody, if you're going to compete, man, you better have some cardio in there, right?
Yeah.
Because the fear comes back when your technique's not working because you don't have any cardio. But again, it honed in on specific areas of need that I feel are super important and mainly finding solutions.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my motto going forward.
Nice. So thankfully nothing happened that first time, but it was just enough to get you in through the door, right?
Yes. So I ask everybody, what brings you to jiu-jitsu? Like, what brought you to jiu-jitsu?
Well, for me, actually, it was, so I mentioned earlier, I practiced capoeira for like better part of 20 years, to be honest, about 18. And it's Brazilian, right? It's an Afro-Brazilian art form. So much so that I thought, like, this was my calling. I was going to move to Brazil. I was going to open up a school. I was going to train and so on and so forth. And I did most of that. I never opened up a school. But a good friend of mine, Professor Faquinha, he got me while we were playing capoeira in an armbar. He took me down with a double leg, spun around, got me in an armbar. And I'm like, whoa, what are you doing, man? What's going on? And he tells me, you're in Brazil now. Like, you need to know this stuff. You need to know how to defend, and you need to see it coming. So it's like, all right, I guess that was kind of cool. Show me how you did that. Right? And then I started training with him. I was just in his backyard. Like, he had this little, they call it a quintal. It's like his garden, basically, in the back, right? He had some mats there, palm trees, real picturesque type of thing when I think back to it. And I just fell in love with it. You know what I mean? To a point where eventually, while I was training back home, back in Canada, there just wasn't enough hours in the day to do both to the extent that I wanted to do both. And I gradually shifted away from capoeira towards more jiu-jitsu, which is where I'm at now.
It's definitely, I feel, it's true when they say it's addicting. And your body needs it. Your mind needs it. I need it. I'm glad that you're here to ask me some questions because I love it. So I was doing Muay Thai, and Vache, who's a purple belt, a tough ass dude, really tough. He was teaching the class. It was all no-gi. It was only once a week, and it took one class for me to get addicted. After that, I was with them for about a year. A black belt named Free Taylor used to come to our school. One of the Dirty Dozen, right?
Nice.
Right? Free Taylor, first black belt, American black belt from John Jacques Machado, used to come another day. So it was like Wednesday and Friday. And he used to come and he gave me my blue belt.
Nice.
So I competed as a white belt and he gave me a blue belt. Then our professor, Alberto Crane,
shout out Alberto,
from Santa Fe, right, comes over here and opens up this Gracie Baja Academy in Encino.
Nice.
And my buddy who started me in jiu-jitsu said, hey, there's an open mat. Why don't we go check it out? And I'm like, sure. I meet Alberto.
Nice.
Alberto and I weigh the same. We're about the same height. We're about the same age. He's a little younger than I am. And we hit it off from the first day.
Nice.
Quit the school. Said goodbye. I always like to be man up and on front. Said, I'm leaving because I want to learn more jiu-jitsu. We only had 1-2 days once in a while. If they weren't there, no jiu-jitsu, right? So I met Alberto, and I was his first kids teacher as a blue belt. And that's where it all started, man.
The kids program is notoriously strong at Legacy. I wonder if you have a big part to play in that, because every competition you go to around here, at least, there's a Legacy kid on a podium somewhere, right? If not across all the podiums. That's pretty impressive. And we're going to get to some of the programs, and I want to talk about the school here too. But teaching children, I think, by extension, is actually part of your full-time career, right? Although you might be teaching adults more now. It's been a long time, and I do say the thing that if I do have any piece on any of the success Legacy is only that I'm Alberto's partner. What does that mean? Is that I train with him, so he develops these men and women that are teaching at Legacy to
to create champions.
Nice.
And so that, I have to say, that's probably the only thing I've ever, anybody benefited from me. But I did start his class, and I was, at the time when I started his class, I was an assistant principal.
Okay. Yeah.
And I used to drive all the way from Simi Valley to Encino to teach his kids class and then take my classes with him.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. But from those days, you know, really early on, I realized that the art of teaching is very special.
Yeah.
And so you'll see today when I teach a little bit, I bring a lot of the pedagogy. Matter of fact, they call my classes pedagogy, which is the art of teaching.
Yeah.
And so I bring that
the Greek art of teaching, no less.
There you go, right? And I bring that component to all my classes. I mean, if you look at my books, I lesson plan before every class.
Right on.
So I lesson plan, and then I find feedback. The feedback is like, did the students attain a nugget today?
Yeah.
It's not just a bunch of moves that I do. It's all reciprocal teaching. Yeah. Right? It's pedagogy. Yeah. So I started it with Alberto. So Alberto was the first one to give me an opportunity as a blue belt, right? Yeah. To teach and to build a lesson and to build cohesiveness between concepts. Yeah. What does that do? That makes me better as a teacher and makes me better at jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah,
so
100%.
I remember getting my black belt from him and saying, you know, you've made it, and doing my speech, and it was like, I am amongst greatness and I'm just part of that. Mm-hmm. And so that's a way of thinking that I think has helped me. You know, I'm just part of the greatness that's around us. Yeah. That teaches us. Yeah. It's good.
I wonder, you see, like you kind of mentioned it at the beginning, and I wonder if you could maybe expound on this a little bit. There was something about jiu-jitsu that you mentioned, time to think, and that also kind of made you realize something about yourself, that you not only had to go back and continue doing more jiu-jitsu, but like, what is it really that you found that spoke to you in Brazilian jiu-jitsu? Because you were already doing Muay Thai, you're already fit from playing soccer. Yeah. Like, what was so different about Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
That's a great question, man. Peace.
Yeah?
Peace.
Peace, yeah?
Peace.
Okay.
You know, nice. we doubt ourselves a lot. I mean, how many times do you think in your head, did I do that right? Did I write the right email? Yeah. Did I talk too much? Did I interject when I didn't need to interject? You second guess yourself.
100%.
Jiu-jitsu, the mat doesn't lie, dude, you know? Yeah. So you have to, it does create a mental system where you feel more confident with what you're going to do. Right. And if you don't, you learn, right? Yeah. There is that saying, you lose or you learn, right? Yeah. Right? So there is that, you know, that I think that's a very important piece. But for me, it's allowed me to find solutions outside of my jiu-jitsu. Okay, yeah. Nice. So many things have happened to me outside that I want to base success on jiu-jitsu. You know, I've had the opportunity to write 4 books based on jiu-jitsu. Nice. I didn't think I could do it. People, you know what? If you can succeed in something that you love, like your sport, like capoeira or like jiu-jitsu, or you're a writer, you can do things. You have to believe in that, and that system's really what makes me keep on coming back. I love it. Even till now, man. I've been doing it for a long time. Yeah, absolutely. You're a 3rd degree black belt, right? Yeah. That's no joke, man. It's a good amount of time on the mat. It's been a long time, dude. Yeah. So, with regards to, because you mentioned systems, right? Yeah. And I think that's such a big part of jiu-jitsu. I wonder, because fairly recently, let's say like the last 10 years, I think systematic approaches to teaching jiu-jitsu have become popular, right? They've become mainstream for people like John Danaher, and they're even nowadays talking about constraints-led approaches and things like that, different approaches to learning and teaching, right? Did you see that, or did you bring that when you taught classes, even like, for example, when you started as a blue belt, right? Did you feel like that was a space that was ripe for that? You referred to pedagogy, like, was that something that you had in mind right from the jump, or is that something that you learned over the course of time giving class? Like I said, remember, each individual is different. Each kid learned differently. Right. And you have to create a system. You have to create an agenda that's visible for them. Right. So I let people know what we're going to be learning and what the outcomes are going to be. It's up to you to learn that and build your jiu-jitsu. Right. And I'll tell this to everybody. 1, train wherever you travel, bring your gi and learn from other people. Yeah. I'm still learning. I'll learn from anybody who wants to teach me something, who does something that I don't know how to do. Yeah. Right? Yeah, 100%. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that you can't just rely on coming to school and taking 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 classes a week.
Yeah.
You have to do your research.
Right.
So part of my learning has always been writing notes.
Nice.
So I build a system, right? I build a brainstorm.
Yeah.
This is an arm bar from the guard. How did I get there? So I believe in backward planning, and our teachers, they do that in the schools. Our principals, they look at the calendar and they backwards plan the whole year.
Nice.
And then you build a system off that, right? So I always knew that. Cool. Kids they're not born reading, right? You got to teach them how to read. You got to teach them how to ride a bike. You got to teach them how to do math. And once they get the concept, you know what happens is they grow. And jiu-jitsu is the same way. So I believe that there's 6 guards and each guard has a system. And so my job as the teacher, the professor, is to intertwine the skills and habits that connect each guard. And that makes me want to always come back, you know, and I don't get tired, and I'm always thinking and I'm collaborating and I build I built a curriculum for a school, you know, because of that learning. So I gotta bring it back to you know, my college years where they were teaching me how to be a teacher.
Right.
My mom was a teacher, you know, so I think that's the way that you learn jiu-jitsu.
Nice. They say there's an expression, I don't remember if it's a Brazilian one, but they say when you teach, you're learning twice, right? Which is one of those things that's always kind of resonated with me. And I've recently started giving class. I used to teach capoeira. And then teaching Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, I was older, right? Like I'm 44 now. And I felt this overwhelming imposter syndrome at first, right? Because in capoeira, like there isn't a world champion per se. There are people that you're like, okay, this person or this group is next level, but that's not really what it's about. Whereas in jiu-jitsu, it was very clear, and it was daunting to me because, you know, a 10-time world champion giving a class and me giving a class, like what do I possibly have to offer, right? And I realized after giving that first class that no, I was looking at it the wrong way, right? And because that 10-time world champion is wonderful, they could be really great and probably have a lot they can teach, but they're not me. They don't have my lived experience. They don't see things from my perspective. And so I can bring that to the table. And as a result, ironically, which will come as no surprise to you, I've learned a whole hell of a lot in this period teaching, right?
I'll tell you, you're going to meet him today. His name is T. He just got his blue belt this Saturday.
Nice.
He's my uke. Because when I am teaching the class, I want people to see a different perspective than just mine. T will do the move after I do the move.
Nice.
So he has grown tremendously. I mean, you'll see when you roll with him. He's just a normal dude.
Professor Leonidas is getting ready to say that, you know, feed me to the wolves here.
Nah. It's all respectful. But I mean, his skill, man, and the way that he expresses jiu-jitsu is different than mine. So the students get 2 different ways of me walking through the jiu-jitsu, you know, the jiu-jitsu system, right? We're going to be working on half guard today.
Okay. All right.
Nice. And so he will show you, you'll see, again, a fresh jiu-jitsu guy, probably a year, you doing jiu-jitsu for a year, came in with, I don't even know if you've ever played another sport.
Really? Okay, nice.
But his intelligence, and again, so yes, I'm not a 10-time world champion, but I understand how to connect with people.
Right.
And I understand how to connect, you know, A to B to C to get back to A. And so that's what you can support. And yes, by teaching T, he's going to become an excellent teacher. And that's my goal. Alberto told me this once. I remember rolling with Alberto. We used to roll like, when I came back to him, I moved and then I came back. I was a brown belt and he invited me back to, it was Gracie Baja still.
Okay.
And we used to train for 6 months. We trained every Sunday for 2 to 3 hours, just him and I.
Nice.
He would, at the beginning, demolish me. After every session, I learned a little bit more. I came home and I wrote it down.
Nice.
To the point where now when we train, we do micro movements. And my jiu-jitsu has gone tremendously, right? Because it's all about those little details, those little movements. That's how we train now. So we went from him destroying me to micro movements.
Nice.
Where we're both growing and talking jiu-jitsu. We talk jiu-jitsu without words.
Right.
With movements. And he's like, what did you just do? And I tell him, what did you just do? That's amazing.
That's cool.
It's amazing, dude. I owe him so much.
Yeah. That's it just so happens to be the man's birthday today. So
I know.
Happy birthday,
Professor.
It's funny because it's like there's only so many ways the human body can move, right?
Yeah.
And yet there seems to be infinite possibilities of movement within just the art of jiu-jitsu, right? Which keeps people like you and I just coming back
all the time. I'm always learning, like I said, always learning.
Yeah. I think that's commendable. It's also a healthy approach, no doubt, to someone who is engaged in teaching the art, right? Like you're excited about it, you love it, you're there, you're not just like, oh, I'm going to work, you know what I mean? Like
no, you know what? And I thought to myself, I said, when I get to the point where I don't want to do it. There was a point when I was in the lower belts, I didn't want to teach because I was still growing myself, and I felt like I needed more.
Right.
I needed to learn more, even though I had developed agendas, I've had developed lesson plans, I started to build things. I felt like I needed more as an athlete, as a competitor.
Yeah.
We've competed, Alberto and I were, and I know, I'm not sure if this is still the thing, but he and I competed in the Abu Dhabi trials.
Yep.
And we both closed the bracket, and we competed. So it was a fun role.
Yeah.
We just kind of moved around, but we're on TV, and Hickson was there, and it was just an incredible thing. And we closed the bracket as black belts, right? It was such a great thing for me to experience. Alberto's experienced it before.
Yeah.
But I do want to all Zoomosphere in the world here, podcast.
Yeah.
There's a thing that I learned. So many blue belts and purple belts burn out. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting that I read a study that many black belts after a certain age quit.
Huh.
And so I was wondering why. And so what came about it was that most people, not everybody, most people base their growth on submitting other people.
Right.
I don't even look for submissions anymore.
Yeah.
I look for control.
Yeah.
So I tell all students, anybody who wants to listen, don't look for submissions. Learn to control the situation.
Right.
So then you won't feel the plateau of like, I'm not growing, I'm getting worse, I'm getting old.
Yeah.
I don't train enough. The submission will come.
Yeah.
But it's all about controlling yourself in the moment.
Right.
And that has allowed me to, again, micro movements with Alberto. Mm-hmm. But the fact that I don't need to submit the fresh blue belt. I don't need to submit, whoever's in front of me. I just need to control me.
Right.
And I think that has been playing in my head over and over again. And I wish I would have learned it when I was younger, even though I made it to this point. But it's not about that. It's about controlling the situation.
Right.
Then you can transfer it outside of the mat.
I love that. Yeah. It really is you with your mind, you're like you and yourself on the mat at the end of the day, right? Like, which I find, another thing that I find really interesting is that we need other people. Like we need a community, we need teachers, we need rivals, right? We need friends, to help us grow. And even just that physical act of grappling is very difficult to do alone, right? Yeah. But nevertheless, you're the person, like if you compete or if it's just you, what's going through your mind when you're training as a hobbyist, like it really is you and your mind, right? So at the end of the day, I think if you're able to find some measure of calmness in that through practice, then you referred to peace, like that would translate to peace for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you'd agree with this, but lately my experience is that it's not because you've achieved that peace at one point that it's everlasting. Mm-hmm. It's like you need to continuously work on it.
Always.
To kind of keep it sharp, right?
Yep.
Because if you kind of go lax a little bit, that those, I don't know so much about the doubts, but just the loudness of your thoughts, your mind, your doubts perhaps, whatever it is, kind of come back, right? And it's almost as though you have to like work constantly to keep that calmness, right? That peace.
There's an interesting thing because I travel around the world for vacation or whatever I'm going, and I'll find this school and I'll train. And those butterflies never go away, man.
Yeah.
And so you always want to see, does my jiu-jitsu stand with somebody I don't know? Does will I be able to survive what's going to happen? Some young dude may want to come and try to attack me. Am I going to be able to hold him off? What if the teacher comes at me really hard? What am I going to do? So then you leave and you're like, Did they punch me in the face? No. Did they kick me in the face? No.
Yeah.
And so you're fine.
Yeah.
So, but you have to hone in those skills.
Yeah.
And I do, like I said, it's, I believe it's on the mat, in your notebook, and visibly now, because the internet is so advanced, so expansive.
Yeah.
You can go on Danaher, you can go find anybody that is that's good, your body type, somebody that you feel like you like, whatever. You could find somebody on a instructional or on YouTube, and emulate those moves. But you need to find this cycle of growth, right? And it's not just on the mat. But you're right. I always. Every time I walk into the mat, I kind of think like, okay, so what if this happens today? And then I realize, okay, my jiu-jitsu is working.
Yeah. It's those tools, right? That toolkit that you referred to earlier.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you mentioned traveling, because it's a toolkit or it's a language, right?
Yeah.
Literally, that other people that might be from a different culture, might not even share an actual language together.
Yeah.
If you share jiu-jitsu, you all of a sudden have all this in common, right? You might have a new friend, by the end of the day. It shows you around the city or what have you, right?
Yeah.
Things that might not otherwise, you might not otherwise be exposed to when traveling, right? Yeah. But it takes, I don't know, I think you'd agree, it takes a little bit of, it takes something. I think I'm going to call it guts to actually bring your gi and actually like step foot in another culture and another gym and another. It's a different culture and a different gym in the same city.
Yeah.
And so when you're in a different country, right? Like.
Yeah. Well, and to that point, I feel that if I don't do it, I'd made a disservice to myself.
Right.
And I feel that, you have a window, man. Right?
Yeah.
We have a window. The window closes eventually.
Yeah.
So I don't want to ever feel like I shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
And I didn't because of fear.
Yeah.
It goes back to that first day. Why did I even start jiu-jitsu? Why did I even start Muay Thai? Right?
Yeah.
It goes back to that. So no matter where I go, until I cannot do it any longer, no matter what happens, I'm gonna go to school, pay my respects, pay them the fee if that's what they want. Maybe buy a shirt. Respect the owner, because it's not easy owning a gym.
Hell yeah.
And most of the time, I found that I find friends that still text me happy birthday on Facebook or Instagram, and I do the same to them, and we built something together. So. That's what I would suggest to everybody. Fight that little initial fear. Yeah. And don't worry about submitting people. Worry about controlling yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I really like that. In fact, I think I'm going to take that. That's one takeaway already for me.
One nugget.
From not doing myself a disservice and showing up.
Show up and don't worry about what happens. Do you.
Yeah.
I rolled with this one guy, Clark Gracie, once, man.
I've heard of him,
dude.
the best looking omoplata in the game,
right, man? And when before I rolled with him, it was at Barum Jiu Jitsu in San Diego. Barum Alfredo, awesome guy, awesome person, awesome instructor. Thank you for always opening your door for me. Went down to on Sunday, man. He has like a jungle of monsters, every Sunday.
Right.
And I get there, and of course. Best looking dude in the mat, right? No, not me.
Yeah, exactly.
and I see him, and he omoplated everybody, dude.
Yeah, I bet.
All right, so I told myself right before I rolled with you, Clark, that day. It was like 10 years ago, dude. Right before I rolled with you, I said, I'm going to escape one omoplata. I did.
Nice.
He omoplated me.
Yeah.
But I escaped one.
Nice.
And then he stepped it up. I mean, I don't think he plays, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think I go really, I kind of go with the energy of the person, depending on how they push me.
Yeah.
Normally I'm really slow and calm and relaxed. But, if the level goes up, I go up a little bit. If the level goes down, I go up. My goal is always to bring it down.
Yeah.
I want let's talk jiu-jitsu instead of fight jiu-jitsu, right? Dude, my Clark, man, he's no joke, bro.
Yeah.
It was a great experience, though. And I could say that I rolled with Clark Gracie.
Yeah, exactly.
He might not remember because I was just like, whatever, but
I mean, still, that is part of that baggage that is now yours, right?
Yeah, man.
That you carry with you.
Yeah. And so I looked at Bernardo Ferreira's instruction on how to escape an omoplata. I teach it now. Thank you, Bernardo. Thank you, Bernardo.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny because you could look at it as like a lower percentage out of the arm bars, the triangles, the rear naked chokes, right? Yeah. Like omoplata is not the top one in terms of the highest probability of finishing a fight, and yet this man has refined it to like the nth degree, right?
Yeah, right. Bruce Lee said this. He said, "Man, don't fear the guy that does 1,000 moves. Fear the guy that does one move 1,000 times."
100%.
That's him, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Clark Gracie does the omoplata 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
And so he did it to everybody.
Yeah.
He rolled only with black belts that day. That day. I mean, I'm sure he rolls with everybody, right? But that day, I think there was 25 black belts on the mat, dude.
Yeah.
He omoplata everybody. All size, shape, color, whatever.
Yeah.
And I escaped one.
Nice. There you go. Mission accomplished. Yeah.
that was it, dude. One escape, and then he omoplated me after he rolled into another omoplata.
Did you have any idea when you were at Blue Belt, you started teaching, training with Alberto, that this place, this Los Angeles, greater Los Angeles area, San Diego, is going to be the mecca of jiu-jitsu? Like, was that something that you guys knew, or it just kind of happened, or you just... Because this is some top tier training, like, you know, on a global scale, really.
You know, there's so many amazing jiu-jitsu players, like, just all levels. You know, the level of jiu-jitsu player is completely different. And I always tell everybody, there's black belt levels.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I've rolled with like Alberto's and Clark Gracie's and Christian Bellows and all these Hamalos and all these, like, you know, and then there's where you fit in.
Yeah.
Right? So you know, our rest in peace, Kenny Bond. He was one of the leaders of street sports. Passed away way too young. He gave me my purple belt. He was probably one of my, aside from Alberto, one of my top mentors. And there's just levels to this game, right?
Yeah.
And but I do tell this to everybody. I go, man, you can go to a top school with like the top 10 world champion, and you'll get to the level that you can get to.
Right.
Or you can go to another jiu-jitsu school that's around LA.
Yeah.
And if the instruction is good, you're going to get to the level that you're going to get to.
Right.
Right. So, you know, I think that's a huge component, man. And you know, there's also, like I said, you should be using jiu-jitsu on the mat, off the mat, and finding a system that works for you.
Right.
But if you want to do it, you will get to the level that you can get to.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't compare myself with absolutely anybody. You know, at first I remember talking to Hamalo, and I told Hamalo I met him, and I was like starstruck, right? Because Alberto introduced him to the team, and he was like, you know, a 6 world champion at that time.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my God, this guy's like jiu-jitsu god, right?
Yeah.
And then I said to him, I said, hey, Professor, can you teach me some tricks? You want to know what he told me, dude? He said, I don't teach tricks, I teach techniques.
Right.
Bro. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Man, 100%. So, and then that concept and fighting your fears and finding your way allow you to build how you're going to be and be okay with it. Don't compare yourself to anybody. Just be okay with you.
It sounds to me almost as though you're kind of like chipping away and revealing, like kind of like a sculptor would do with a statue, right? Revealing the statue that's already within the rock. You're just, you know, uncovering it basically. Because like we, for the most part, are adults. I mean, there's a lot of people that start as children, but for the most part, we're adults, and we already kind of have a little bit of a personality, right? Hopefully, our own character, our own experiences, right? And then jiu-jitsu is an add-on, but I don't think it necessarily adds new aspects to your personality. I think it more reveals your character.
I love that.
Right?
You said it perfectly, man. I'm stealing that. There's a statue underneath.
Yeah.
There's a core.
Yeah. It's because we're Greek, so we're talking about statues. Right?
there's a core. There's a core that we already have.
Yeah.
And you just got to find it, right? Like the abs. There are abs somewhere in there. I had 6-pack at one point. There's some abs in there.
Yep.
So we just start to work to your ability.
Yeah.
And you should set your expectations.
Yeah.
If you're an older grappler, your job is to stay healthy longer than you would if you have not walked onto that mat.
Right.
That should be, and then learn along the way.
Yeah.
You know, but I do believe that, man, wholeheartedly. And I do think, and it's a cliche, everybody says that jiu-jitsu saved my life. No, well, jiu-jitsu didn't save my life, but jiu-jitsu definitely opened some doors in my mind that were closed, or I was scared to open them. Right. So, man, we could talk about this for 3 years.
100%. Absolutely. I mean, this is the fun part about the podcast, is it's asking people about something that they love to do.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, it's the conversation flows naturally. And there's something else that you said that I wanted to pick up on, which was that you don't compare yourself to others.
No.
I'm curious, like, is that something that you learned along the way, or that you developed as like a mechanism to stay either healthy psychologically or happy or what have you? Or is it just kind of, it was already part of you and your approach to life? And the reason I ask, I'll preface, is that I find that very difficult to do, right? Like, even though at the end of the day, I know not to compare myself, say, with the competitive purple that I can't find a way to submit lately. You know what I mean? Like,
control him.
Right. But how did you come across this mentality of not comparing yourself to the other person?
So there was a big thing that happened a long time ago. I'm sure it's a Brazilian kind of theme about what, you know what a crionche is?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So,
someone
hey,
with
man,
no loyalty.
Yeah, no loyalty. I don't believe in it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's where you feel comfortable, where you feel you belong, where you feel like I want to go back, where it's not a job, it's something that I love to do, right?
Yeah.
So I received all my belts from different professors.
Really?
And I remember being a brown belt and they go, man, you're a crionche, dude. And I said, nah, bro, I was good enough with 4 different professors to give me a belt.
Yeah.
4 different people gave me a belt, and I took from each one, some more than others,
right,
to build my game.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I cannot be Alberto ever, but there is a lot of his game in mine.
Yeah.
I can't be, Kenny Bond, but there's a lot of awesomeness from him that's in me.
Yeah.
I can't be Free Taylor, but I would love to say that he gave me something as well.
Yeah.
So every single person.
Interesting. Yeah.
Steve Cardenas and Franginia, each person gave me something.
Yeah.
To make my own game individual. So when I learned that, when I was being told you're this and you're that and you jump around, and I said, no, man, I'm just finding my way, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody's teaching me a little bit, and I'm learning from everybody, and then I'm building my own game.
Yeah.
And what I tell the students all the time, what I teach you, deconstruct it and build your own game.
Yeah.
My body, I'm slow. You might be fast.
Yeah.
Take the learning and build your own system, right? And that's why jiu-jitsu is continuously growing.
Right.
And people finding new ways to adapt the body in 6 guards, right?
Yeah.
And so that's that when I was told that, and then I realized one day, because I like to spin things in a positive way, no matter where I'm at work, at home, with my sons, whatever it is, I spin it. Right? Because if not, you'd be always negative thinking in a cloud. I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
So when they told me that, I said, You see how I said, nope, 4 people thought I was good enough.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. It's a good take on it.
Yeah, man. You have to think that way. If not, and like I said, I know that I can't. Alberto's made it to the top of jiu-jitsu, man.
Yeah.
In MMA and jiu-jitsu as a businessman.
Yeah.
Can't be him.
Yeah.
But I can learn from him, 100%. And I can train with him.
Yeah.
And I could do micro movements with him.
Yeah.
And I could build my personal game.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how. Yeah, so it was a long time ago. I've learned that. I always wanted to be, I wish I was, man, imagine if and I'm sure you told this to yourself, imagine I started this when I was 10.
100%. Yeah.
But you know what? Life didn't make you weren't there.
Yeah.
You started exactly where you were supposed to start.
Yeah.
And then now what are you going to do with that?
What are you going to do about it? Yeah, exactly.
Right? So
very much so.
How many kids start at 10 years old and burn out?
Yeah.
And never make it to black belt.
100%.
Or they're black belts and their bodies are gone.
Yeah.
So I started at the right time, in the right space of my life where I needed it. Whatever you believe in, that happened to me at the right time, at the right place, and everything else happened because I was part of a movement.
Yeah. Oh, that's very cool. I like that. Yeah. It's definitely a healthy approach for the long term.
For our older grapplers, dude. Yeah. Don't be scared of getting onto the mat.
Yeah.
Look at Savage, dude.
Yeah. I think he's
76, man.
76, I was going to say. I don't know if he's 80 yet, but yeah.
He slapped me on the head once, dude.
Oh.
Man. He rung my bell, dude.
Yeah.
He goes, here, pop. Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
76-year-old man, dude.
Yeah.
And he's there watching.
Yeah.
His content knowledge is like out of this roof.
Yeah, he's an encyclopedia for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but I appreciate him so much because he's watching and and I go, I want to be like him, dude.
Yeah.
So not be him, but be like him, where I'm on the mat as much as I can, absorbing and maybe giving something back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like he does, right?
It's funny that you should say that, because this morning I was at the lunch class at Burbank and Professor Savage did exactly that. He showed me little detail to help me with the ankle lock. So I'm going to see if I can't implement that maybe today.
There you go, man.
One of these days.
There you go. I do have to say this. If I teach you a move, you can't do it on me.
There you go.
You got to let me go. Just kidding.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. There's always, so whenever the first time you roll with somebody, right, it's always kind of like, I don't know if you see it the same way, but for me, it's like it's an introduction, right? And the funny part about jiu-jitsu is, almost immediately from that initial grip, right? Wherever the grip is. First of all, where it is makes a difference, but also how the grip is, the intensity of the hold, and the potentially the striations in the arm of the other person. If they're really, you're in for a rock and roll ride or a chill conversation or something in between, right?
Yep.
Maybe some, at some level you're able to dissimulate a little bit and to like hide your true intention and be a little bit, more advanced than that. But I certainly haven't reached that point. And we had a first conversation last week or the week before on Sunday, and I was like, I approached it all nonchalantly, right? Like, I'm like, let's see where this goes. And then it went very directly to a knee slide, guard pass, and I forget what it was. It was maybe a paper cutter choke or something. Doesn't matter. And I was like, okay, yep, that went well.
It's funny. And I felt the same way. I go, this could go any way. And normally the first introduction is a very interesting one, because then you get developed, like, if that's going to be somebody that I'm going to roll with again, somebody that, I'm going to stay away from that dude. It's not going to make anything better for me.
Right.
But I had a dog. His name was Lion, 140-pound pit bull.
Nice.
Best dog you've ever seen in your life. One day, a dude that lived in my apartment building at the time had a young boxer.
Okay.
And I've never seen my dog fight anybody, and so I didn't think he was that type of dog, and he's not. He wasn't. We let him out into the park one day. My dog chased the boxer, sat on the boxer, and then they could be friends.
Really?
Dude.
That's so funny.
Tell me that doesn't happen.
That's funny. It happens in jiu-jitsu.
Right?
Sure.
Look, man, let me tell you who I am, and then we can kind of roll it. Whatever happens is all beautiful and growth after.
That's funny.
But it's kind of like, it was a weird concept to understand that the dog didn't want to fight, but he wanted to tell the dog, I am the top one right here in this conversation.
Right.
And then then they didn't. The other dog wanted to play, and my dog was just like, whatever, man. Go do your thing. We'll run around a little bit, and then I'll go with my owner. So it's kind of like how life is, right?
Yeah.
But again, most of the time I just roll to the style or to the energy.
Yeah.
I know everybody on Sunday Confession. Sunday Confession, by the way, 37 and over. We started that with Alberto. He gave me the keys 12 years ago, dude.
Nice.
Or maybe more, maybe 13 now. I don't know how many years. But I started that with five of the dirty five from Legacy, and most of them are still there except one, Kyle. He's at Frogtown now.
Okay.
And we started that, and we started to build, and now you'll see hundreds and hundreds of people walk through that gym on Sundays from 8 to 9:30. So I know everybody.
Nice.
And everybody's amazing, and it's my happiest day.
Yeah.
It's my happiest day. Happiest day.
I love that. It's not something that I would do inherently were it not for jiu-jitsu, is to start my Sunday bright and early.
Yeah.
But for some reason, and something about the Masters appeals to me as well. I'm 44, I'm not old, but I'm not young.
Yeah.
Right? I'm right in that period where I'm learning to accept that
44 is the new 34, bro.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm going to run with that. So that's another takeaway for me.
Think about a 44-year-old person that's sitting on a couch right now, eating hot Cheetos or whatever they eat, watching TV.
That's true.
Big difference, bro.
Huge difference. Yeah.
I'm 95.
Exactly. You look pretty good.
95 years old in this world. I'm a vampire, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna come back for skincare treatment, advice on.
Right. So it's kind of like 44 is not old at all.
Yeah.
Nah, man, you're just beginning, dude.
Yeah.
And then once you hone the skills, you said you were gonna show me something that day. He said, I was going to do these tricks on you.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
And you're like, it didn't work today.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, again, I've done the same move to a million people. Dude.
Yeah.
As a blue belt.
Yeah.
That move that I did, I started it as a blue belt. Again, pulling from all different professors.
Yeah.
And you just do it 1,000 times and it's automatic. So, again, man, it's just 44 something.
That's interesting. So and I do appreciate, I do feel young. So I do, definitely subscribe to the new 34.
Yeah, man.
But going back to like that first introduction to somebody, like for example, lately my obsession has been, my direction or however you want to label it, in jiu-jitsu has been half guard. So I'm very interested for tonight's class. But it's something I've never really, worked on. And so as a result of needing to be able to teach it, I've focused on it and I've seen that area of my game begin to develop. And, I start to see what people find so enjoyable about it as well, right? Like it's coming together slowly but surely. And so there was nothing flashy that I was going to try to do. I was going to try to get you to half guard and try to work some of the stuff that I've been working. I guess my question to you would be from a perspective of somebody with more experience, kind of advice that you could give to anybody in that first interaction with somebody they've never rolled with. Do you have a particular approach, or if you're working on something, do you just ignore that you've never met them and you work on it anyways, or do you approach a first introduction? You spoke to it a little bit, but how do you recommend somebody approaches a new role with somebody they've never rolled with before?
I think it's kind of like I stand up to shake hands. I never sit down.
Right.
If somebody comes to me and they say, and we look at each other and we're going to say hello, I stand up to that person as a respect.
Right.
So I think the first initial role with somebody new, it should be one of those type of those roles. Not really hard, not really soft, because we're rolling, we're having fun.
Yeah.
But one of those flowing type of things, right? Again, it's energy. You can feel it. You can feel it. I feel when people are scared.
Yeah.
I feel they shake sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Or I feel when they're nervous and they go really hard, or I feel like they're going to put me in a position that I don't want to be in. So I make sure I avoid it. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you this, right? You say you like half guard?
I do now. Okay. I have to admit, I kind of do.
I already know that I've already passed 2 of your guards by you trying to do half guard.
Right.
So in the way that I believe jiu-jitsu works, close guard is your number 1 offense and defense.
Right.
Before you pass my close guard, I do my open guard.
Right.
Because I want to dictate the roll.
Okay.
So I don't let you open my close guard. I open on my terms.
Okay.
Then I have open guard.
Nice.
If you mess up my open guard, then I go to half guard.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Right? And then from half guard, if I defend it, I go back to open guard.
Right.
And then if there's nothing happening, I go back to my close guard.
Okay.
So there's 3 guards. So you trying to go to half guard, I already knew.
Right.
That you let me have 2 guards.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So you diving in that way, I go, okay, let me slice this guy to where I want to go. So again, I kind of want to dictate the move and go where I want to go because I want to be safe. I want to control. It's not about submitting anybody. It's about me feeling uncomfortable. Not in control, not anal.
Yeah.
Comfortable.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
But I realized that. I go, this guy went from the first initial conversation could have been close guard, open guard.
Yeah.
Or close guard.
Skip that, yeah.
Close guard, pass my guard, whatever, see how that works. That's how I start. I start with close, then I open, then I go to half, then I open, then I go to close.
Right.
And then I sweep to go to mount. And that's kind of where my bread and butter is kind of in the top.
Right.
And so, again, I saw our role. I know who you are. We've talked a couple times. And then you went straight to half. So I go, okay. It's a different conversation.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make perfect sense.
So he went from hello to let's fight. Hello to let me have your lunch.
Yeah. Give me those legs.
Share your nuggets with me, dude. So
that's really interesting.
Yeah. So again, just think about it that way. So if you go straight to half guard, you've eliminated 2 guards.
Yeah.
But maybe you're that good that you don't need the other 2 guards.
Unfortunately, that was not the case.
Right. So like Bernardo, for real, right?
Yeah.
He's a half guard guy. They know him as a half guard guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't need the other 2 guards.
Yeah.
Another person like me who doesn't have that expert ability in any of them.
Yeah.
I just love jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with close to open to half.
Nice.
And back to open to close until I find my game. Once I find my game, then we play.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't think I ever really looked at it as like a hierarchy of positions in terms of, ideal to less ideal to, further down the line.
Yeah. I'm sure I stole that from somebody else.
Yeah, but now that you mention it, like I do feel the same way when it comes to, for example, I was teaching one of my favorite back escapes, right? And I kept reiterating the importance of addressing the number one threat, which is the arm that would be strangling you, right?
Yeah.
The rear naked choke. And then once that's addressed, then moving on to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. So it's really similar to what you just explained, but looking at, and I have to admit, I never looked at it from the guard perspective, right? And then obviously also the conversation that takes place. So
it's always like that.
We're racking up takeaways here for me.
I mean, like I said, you're going to create your own thing.
Yeah.
Everybody writes their own book or their own page or whatever you want to say. But I do look at those conversations. I'll get a young dude that wants. There was a point where I believe probably I was a blue belt, and I would say like, I'm going to submit that purple belt dude, and I'm going to take his belt. That we think like that sometimes.
Right.
At least I did. I'm going to speak with anybody else. But so and then we gave a purple belt out, and the purple belt said to me, "Man, I have a target." No, bro, you always had a target. It's just jiu-jitsu. Yeah. You can't think that because you got a new belt, they're going to start. They've been hunting you forever. Yeah. Everybody's hunting you.
100%. Yeah.
Right. So. I think again, it's kind of like it's a conversation.
Yeah.
It's just and we were talking about this with Alberto. There is language that is body language that needs no verbal language.
Yeah.
And that's the conversation. And I always, just like I stand up to say hello, I'm hoping that that's my first role with people.
Right.
We can, when we trust each other, then we can. Alberto and I can go micro movements, or we can go 3,000% and still shake hands because I know he doesn't want to hurt me and I don't want to hurt him.
100%, yeah.
But you don't know that with everybody yet.
That's true, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does, absolutely.
It's weird. It's a jiu-jitsu kind of like mindset that I think older heads have, right? But I do feel that way. I feel it's a conversation.
Nice.
Yeah.
So in this approach to teaching, right, which obviously has a lot of layers to it as I'm beginning to learn. You've taught, I'm going to venture to guess, you've taught hobbyists and you've taught competitors.
Yes.
Right? Is that like, and you did mention that, your approach is really like specific to the individual. Yeah. But I wonder if there's like something that, is there any difference in your approach with a hobbyist, generally speaking, versus a competitor, or is it really tailored to the individual regardless of what their pursuit is?
I do a lot. So I will not roll today unless there's an empty spot, because my job is to watch and coach and get feedback. So I'll pull a guy over after and talk to them.
Right.
Look, man, there's a guy here. His name is Isaac. He's got 4 family members, man. I love them all, dude.
Nice.
I love them all. Isaac just got his blue belt.
Okay.
The first time I saw him roll, he's a former wrestler. Man, that guy went berserk on everybody. Dude, berserk.
Yeah.
Now, calm. He still goes berserk sometimes, but calm and collective. He kicks ass.
Yeah.
Right? So the difference between the competitor and the hobbyist is the hobbyist will come believing that they are a hobbyist.
Yeah.
And the competitor believes that they're going to be a world champion.
Right.
Whether they're going to reach there or not.
Yeah.
And they may, seek that world champion mentor.
Yeah.
Bro, it's you.
Yeah.
So there's hobbyists that are mat enforcers, man, and they'll tap everybody out if they have to.
Yeah.
The professor or coach will send them that.
Yeah.
You're the new guy, fight with this guy. Yeah. And that's a pure old dad with 10 kids, right?
100%.
So I think it's you, how you believe in the hobby. I believe in foundational learning.
Okay, yeah.
I also do, and I mean, this could be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't teach anything that I can't do.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm not going to find something online because it's flashy. If I can't do it, what am I going to teach you about it, dude? You're going to get wrong information maybe, and I don't want to do that to you.
Right.
So the way that I do it is we build a curriculum based on the 6 guards.
Yeah.
And those 6 guards have branched out, and I teach how I can that I physically can do it.
Nice.
And that I've physically done it.
Yeah.
Then it becomes something where I could hand over a tool, a nugget, a pebble.
Right.
That's how I teach. And there's some guys that just are really good at certain moves. And I tell everybody when there's one of the guys that come on Sunday, his name is Jeff. He's a Berimbolo guy. Mm-hmm. I love that guy. I'm not a Berimbolo guy. What I do is I pull the bear trap on those guys.
Right.
Because that's going to help me learn the position, but also defend the position.
Right.
Again, that's kind of my approach.
Yeah. Nice. I'm reminded of a conversation. In fact, I was having this conversation with Alberto, right, on our season finale of the first season. And, we were talking about jiu-jitsu scene, right? Like when you guys would have been training, blue belts, purple belts, versus where it's at now, right? Like in the last, I'd say 15 years, easily doubled in size, right? Not just the community that trains, but the amount of schools, the amount of competitions that are available, if you're interested, and the amount of shows that we see. Like I think almost every weekend there's either a Fight Pass or a Who's Number One or a ADCC or something, right?
Yeah.
What is it, I want to ask, like, first of all, what's your favorite thing about jiu-jitsu nowadays?
Yeah.
Right? And then if there's anything from when you started jiu-jitsu that you're not seeing so much that you'd like to see more of, as well as a follow-up.
Yeah. I think the approach of having collaboration on a curriculum is extremely important.
Yeah.
I don't see it all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes, not that I'm perfect at anything, but sometimes you'll go and let's just shoot this move today.
Yeah.
And there's no coherence with the next move and the next move. And so it could be where you learn a bag of moves.
Yeah.
But it takes longer to align it.
Yeah.
Now with like the Danahers and stuff like that, and the Alberto Cranes and all these wonderful professors that I've met throughout the years. And Christian, when I came here, Christian and I have been friends since Blue Belt.
Yeah.
Christian was with Alberto too.
Nice. Yeah.
And the first thing he said to me, let's build a curriculum. I said, absolutely, dude. Because the students deserve to have that reciprocal, embedded kind of Scargo's rope of learning, right?
Right.
And I see it now. I didn't see it before.
Okay.
Before it was just a bag of moves. Let's like armbar today, triangle today, plata today. Yes, you can see them connect as you get better, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't coherence, right?
That's
it wasn't
how I
like
started as well. Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of what I remember.
Yeah.
And now I see a bigger and a more intentful way of building impact by building a curriculum that's going to help students kind of weave in the necessary tools. I tell blue belts, I go, by blue belt, you need to connect two moves, man. If you go to an armbar and the guy defends the armbar, what's your next step, dude? Is an armbar to the triangle, an armbar to a reverse armbar, an armbar to a omoplata, or back to open guard for a sweep. But you got to connect and then go back to the armbar. So I feel like there's a lot more of that going on. And so that's just because it's an elevation of the game.
Yeah. I like that. At this point, I mean, we've talked about pedagogy, extensively. I have to ask, like, the constraints-led approach, I'm not sure, whether they call it eco or if those are even two different things, but understanding, the idea of BJJ games and learning through play, I'm curious, A, have you been exposed to some of that? And B, like, what are your thoughts on that in terms of an approach to conveying jiu-jitsu?
One day, remember that day I told you, I think before the camera, I told you I called my dad.
Yeah.
Because I went to the tournament by myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm scared. And he's like, he told me what he told me, right? Well, I had a game plan already.
Right.
And then I was in the pin, warming up, scared, but warming up. And I talked to the guy next to me and I said, bro, what's your game plan? He goes, I'm just going to see what they're going to do. That guy got murdered in the first fight. Annihilated, right?
Yeah.
You have to build a game plan that works for you.
Right.
And the system of kind of like what I told you, on Wednesdays, I do the 10-round Wednesday.
Yeah.
It allows students to build a game. And when you're tired and you can pull a technique together.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to it.
Right.
I do want to say, though, that drilling is so important.
Right.
Yeah, but the connection, the game, all that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah.
Little kids learn by games, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Their first year of school, preschool, even kindergarten is all structured games.
And they get naps, which, maybe we need to look into that.
I took a nap today, man. I took a nap today.
Oh, man, we're all in for it tonight.
I took a nap.
Yeah. But it's interesting because I did start with the classes at West Valley, warming up, using... Because I felt tired for the students doing laps around, the mat. And every now and then, it might be really important for them to work up some cardio. But at the same time, I wanted to get them playing and standing with grips, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's cardio as well, right? Like they were very much sweating by the time we got to that day's technique, which incidentally started standing. But I told them, okay, you guys are all in pairs. There was an even number, so I could observe. You're going to start, standing apart from each other as you would in a match, and then you have to get your grip.
Yeah.
Now you have to tell the other person what grip it is you're going for. You tell them exactly what you're trying to do, and they tell you. So, and the one thing I said you can't do is you can't both have 50-50 and dance around like tango, right? That doesn't count. You have to have your grip and make sure the other person doesn't have theirs, whatever that grip is.
Yeah.
And what that allowed for them to do, because I didn't give them any other constraints whatsoever, is for them to get creative. I said, there's no takedown yet, so there's no fear. There's nothing can happen.
Yeah,
right? Just get your grips and prevent the other person. So then it allowed me to see how each of these people were approaching that challenge.
Yeah.
Right? They were having fun, they were laughing, but also trying to get those grips. And then, we talked about grip breaks, and I gave them a few tools, and then I set them again with a new partner with the same game. And you could see them immediately trying to apply certain things, but I didn't expect it to teach me as much as it did, right? By observing them tackling this scenario that I'd given them with limitations. So that was my takeaway from that approach, right? Which was like, man, I'm going to play around more with this, right? In at least the warm-up section of the class, so that the first 15, 20 minutes is this playing, essentially, right? And then it has to be related at least to the technique, or else it's, like you said, just a bucket of moves. Like, right? But I have to say, like, when I first heard ecological approach or constraints led, I don't want to say I was a naysayer, but I was like, world champions have been drilling for a long time. It's important. I'm not going to go away from it. And I'm not going to go away from drilling. But now I see that, no, there's definitely merit in
specific training,
precisely.
We'll do some of it today.
Nice.
Based on the moves that I'm going to teach.
Yeah.
Before I get to there's like layers, like you said, right?
Yeah.
There's steps to what we're going to learn today, and one of them is a specific 60%. I'll hit you in the top of the head if you go 100%.
Nice.
60% where the person can make the move work. If not, you'll have two people going, and nothing happens. And that's not real. Jiu-jitsu is really like a flow, right? So we'll have specific training that is extremely important, and that's how they do it for the kids. So the best pedagogy for school is, here's the problem. What are your solutions? Here's some solutions. Do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's precisely.
And I think that's kind of like an approach for everything.
Yeah.
And I approach jiu-jitsu the same way.
Nice.
And I'm growing every day, and I watch and I give feedback, and I say, holy moly, man, this kid just put his foot exactly where it needs to go. And will change the game. Will change the game, and so that again, the specific, some people now call it ecological training, is what they call it, the specific training is crucial. You have to let them kind of feel their body. You got to let them kind of, my professor, for all the street sports out there, our rest in peace, Kenny Bond, one of my, like I told you, gave my purple, one of the best professors I've ever had. He did something which I incorporate into all, when I go to a new school to teach a seminar, I start this way. We do blind jiu-jitsu. I don't know if you've ever taken my class when I was at Legacy.
No.
The warm-up. I won't do it today because we have a stack of things that we got to do. But on Saturdays, I do it. And I have the person connect with the person, eyes shut. At 45%.
Right.
No submissions. No ego. Move. And you want to know what that has done to my game? Because there are guys that are so much better than you that you can't do anything. You're blind.
It's true.
And so what we started to do in those classes with Kenny and with Dion, we used to play this game where your eyes are shut, you're not submitting anybody, but you're continuously flowing and moving, and you're finding and feeling the positions coming.
Right.
And so it's an anticipatory kind of game.
Yeah.
Bro.
Nice.
Whenever I do it, people are like, what was that?
Yeah.
And now my people know. And I usually do it like four stripes and above.
Okay. Yeah.
But now I opened it to everybody. I'm kind of like, like I said, I teach really foundational learning, and I'll even have sometimes maybe today you'll see a parent come in who's a brand new parent coming in, and they'll bring their child to do drills with them. I don't care, man. The more they're on the mat, the better. And who grows, the kid grows too.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
On Saturday, I told you we have 4 families here. 4 family members. 2 families that have 4 people that join we have a kumite now.
Yeah.
But they're all amazing
Who's
humans.
cooking tonight? Yeah.
Right? They're all amazing humans.
Yeah.
And they feed off each other, man. It's like what you said, that specific training, that constraint training or echo training that you said.
Yeah. No, that's really interesting. I feel like you're definitely in the right line of work between, principle and teaching and, conveying knowledge and systems, right? Like it's just, were you already in the pedagogical career when you started jiu-jitsu? Okay, yeah. And did those two worlds kind of make sense right off the bat?
All the way.